Hello, welcome to OMNI training. It's one of our first live Zoom sessions. So we're going to try to start off real quick with a little sound check, some training. So if you can hear me and I sound good, please give me a thumbs up in the chat. If you cannot hear me, please let us know in the chat. And our audio technician slash chat specialist will let me know if everyone can hear me. Okay, okay. Have one thumbs up. Okay, thumbs up. All right, so it sounds like it's good. You can all hear me. Perfect. I know there's still a few people coming in. We tried to start 5 minutes late to let everybody, in case you forgot what time it started and had to be reminded. But you're in now, so that's good. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Give me a second to set up here. All right, so I think before we get started, of course, we're here. We're going to cover faculty bios. So it's that time of year again. We have new faculty members, a lot of new professors, and so each new person needs their own faculty bio page. So the first thing we're going to cover in this is how do you do that? How to create those, how to make edits to it. I know there's some people who have titles changes. Maybe someone got married, their last name changed, and you need to make those edits. So this is what this is for. Before we jump into that, I will remind you of some resources that we have. And so let me share my screen so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay. All right, I just want to make sure, can everyone see my screen? If you cannot see my screen, please let me know in the chat. Okay, so we have a website dedicated to everything OMNI. So, and again, this is oru.edu/OMNI-training. And we're going to put that in the chat for you, put a link for that. But again, so after this training, you need any help, maybe you forgot a specific part, or you had other questions that we didn't go over, you can come here and check that out. Now, this training will be maybe slightly above basic training, but we have a basic training that you can take at any time. To do that, you would just come here again and click Get OMNI Trained. And so what this will do is it'll walk you through. There's a bunch of different videos, and they're all about 5 to 10 minutes-ish. I think if you watch the full thing from start to finish in one sitting, it's about an hour. But we have it broken up into smaller videos so that you can watch, 2 or 3 here one day, 2 or 3 the next day. And it's kind of obvious, where you left off. Like if you got to how to create a new page, well, then your next video is going to be how to edit a page. But that way you can kind of break them up into smaller chunks and fit it around your schedule. So once you finish that, I do want to remind you the very last video will have an explanation on how, like what's your next step basically. So you took the training, so now how do I get a login? So that'll be the next step. And I'll come back over here. So again, if you're taking the training and now you're like, okay, maybe you're like most people where I only use OMNI once a month, once every 3 or 4 months or whatever. So you may forget a few things. So if you forget anything, you can actually just come back to OMNI-training. You can scroll down. We have all of our videos right here. So for instance, let's say you're wondering, how do I upload a PDF? You could click PDFs. And we actually have 2 ways to do that, but both of the videos are here. This is the OMNI way, and this is kind of a newer way we're doing with Calameo. But anyway, you can watch these videos at any time, and they'll walk you through step by step. Now, if there is a video, or let's say you have a question that one of these videos doesn't cover, well, then you can get a hold of us by putting in a project request. And so to get to that is oru.edu/project-request. And so we're going to put that in the chat as well. So again, that's in case, you look through these videos and it doesn't have the answer you have, or maybe, I don't know, for OMNI's broken for whatever reason, you need someone to help you fix it. That's how you get in touch with us. That's the best way to do it. All right, so I'm gonna explain to you real quick our format of today's call. So we're gonna watch actually one of these videos. It's a step-by-step guide for how to create a faculty bio page. So we're gonna watch that. And now while we're watching that, if you have any questions, there is a Q&A section. So let me show you that. So this is a screenshot, but as you see here down at the bottom of the screen, there is a Q&A icon, looks like two speech bubbles. Please use that. If you use the chat, we're probably not going to see the question, but you can ask questions there. The video is pretty short. It's about 10 minutes. And then we did that on purpose because we want to allow people to have plenty of time for questions and answers. So what we'll do is we'll start off with any questions that pertain to faculty bio pages, and we'll go through all those questions. I can actually, share my screen like I'm doing now, walk you through a lot of those different steps. If you have any questions that maybe wasn't clear in the video or you thought of something different. And then once we answer all those questions, we'll start answering any questions about OMNI. So anything from how to upload an image to, creating a link. So just kind of think of maybe questions you might have, and you can go ahead and put them in the Q&A. Right, so let's see. Once we finish that, of course, we'll have a poll we'll take at the end, but other than that, it'll be kind of a short, sweet, hour-long training session, and we'll answer questions as long as we can. And with that said, let's go ahead and we'll watch the video. If you have new faculty members in your department who need to be added to this faculty listing page, in this video, you'll learn everything you need to know to add them to this listing page. So real quick, let's first explain how this works. So what you're going to do is you're actually going to create a bio page. So this is an example of one of the bio pages, and that page automatically populates the listing page. So all the information you see here is done by editing this page. So let's go ahead and get started. To start off with, you have to actually have a login. So if you don't have a login, because you can't use the training login. So if you have not gone through and done the full training yet, go ahead, stop this video, do the training, get your login, and then come back. Okay, so we're going to come to the home folder right here. You can always click on this icon to make sure you're there. And then we're going to look for the faculty folder. So I'm going to click that. So here's the faculty folder. It has all of the faculty members that show up on the listing page. And so what we're going to do is click New. There's only one page to click, so this is the page you click. So here we go. So we need to have a first name. So I'm going to use Kent Hart. And then the department. Now, one thing with the department you need to understand is you need to use exactly what you see here. So we're going to use theater, dance, and visual art. So if you put theater, no comma, dance, and then visual arts, it would be wrong and it wouldn't work. So you need to put the exact thing. It's case sensitive. So T, the D, the V, and the A need to be capitalized. So whenever you're putting in the department names, you may want to look at the actual page to see what department to use. So we'll come back here. And we are using theater, dance, and visual art. So this description here just needs to be real short. I'm going to use something that I already prepared. But really, you just want to use their name, they're a professor of what, and then there's any kind of accolades that you want to add in there, but just, again, keep it short. So file name, as you see over here, the file names we have a system. It is first name,
last name, all lowercase with a hyphen. So for Dr. Kent, we're going to put Kent Hart like that, and then click create. So here we go. It'll take you to your page to actually make edits. The first thing I'm going to do is actually insert the bio information. And so just so you can kind of see what that is, that's this part. So for this video, I'm going to look up lorem ipsum, copy that. There we go. There is our bio. And then all you need to do is hit save. Okay, so now we have the actual copy of the bio. So now we need, as you see here, we need the image. So I don't know if you remember when I told you that the information here feeds the listing page. So I'm going to take you to where you need to do that. So multi-edit, you're going to click that. This is where all the information is. Now, if you did it correctly, when we first set this up, it asked us first name, last name. So it already pre-populated this. But if you ever needed to edit, I don't know, if someone gets married and their last name changes, this is where you would do that. So we already have first name, already have last name. So for title, for Kent, I'm going to use Professor of Drama. Classification, that's a field that we actually don't use. Department, again, if you didn't put it in at the beginning, you need to do it now. And then you need to make sure you're using the correct casing, if there's commas, spacing, everything. So, but we're good with this one. We're going to use College of Arts and Cultural Studies, but you would just click this drop-down menu and you can select the different colleges. So we need to put their ORU email in there. So he's going to be khart@oru.edu. And then, of course, we need the phone number. And with the phone number, you need to use periods instead of hyphens. So in this case, it's 918.495.1234. Okay. And so now we need, this is the listing image. So this is the image that's going to show up here. And a rule of thumb is if you use an image that is 450 by 450 pixels, it'll work in both places, meaning it'll work here and it'll work right here. So it's kind of a shortcut, but you can if you wanted to. If you wanted to have two separate pictures and you wanted to crop a picture just for this, you can do that. So I've already uploaded my image and I have my dependency tag. So I'm just going to paste that right here. And then we need to make an image description. So I will just say, Professor Dr. Kent Hart with 2 R's. Now that we have that, we do have areas where you can put their social media, and that's simple. I'm going to use ORUs, so you just need to copy and paste the URL. I'm going to come back here, and I'm going to add this to every single field just so you can see what it looks like, but obviously you would only do Instagram with Instagram, Twitter with Twitter, etc. Okay, this is the area if the faculty member is an advisor. You would make your edits and changes here. For the sake of this video, he will not be an advisor. So we filled out everything here that we need. We're going to click save. And here we go. Okay, so now you see we have the phone number that we put here, the email, and we have all of our social media. Now, the image is missing. So where you need to go is to Properties, and then you're going to scroll down until you see Profile Image. So this is where we're going to put the dependency tag. And again, we need an alt text. So again, this is going to be Professor Dr. Kent Hart. All right. Now, there are also buttons, like for instance, if you wanted to add someone's CV to the page, you can do that. There is a CV form that you have to fill out first that's giving permission from the professor that he or she is okay with having their CV on the website. So you have to fill that out first before this would get approved. But you could put these buttons here, and I'll just do something as an example. Okay, so I'll do that here too. Okay, and then click save. All right, there we go. Now we have Professor Kent Hart. And then this is an example of the buttons that you could. So again, if you had a CV that you wanted someone to be able, and what you would do is you would get the CV in PDF form and then upload the PDF. And then that's what you would link this to. Now again, I skipped over how to upload the image and how to upload PDFs. We have other videos that talk about that, so you can look on our page where all of our OMNI training is located to get that. So okay, so here we go. Now we have the image. Now we have all the LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all the social media, phone number, email, and we have buttons. So I will publish this just so you can see what it would look like. So we're going to publish Kent Hart's Professor of Drama, and there you go.
Okay, so I did want to remind everybody real quick that that was a video, and you can watch that video over again anytime at the OMNI Resource Center, the OMNI, oru.edu/OMNI-training. So you can rewatch that as much as you want. We're going to open it up to questions. So if there was a part that was confusing, we can go over that. So like I said, we have until about 11:35-ish. So we can get as many questions. If there's a part that you want me to go over with again, please let me know in the Q&A. So let me pull those up and see what we have. Okay. So let's see. So Catherine's, I probably could have done. So you'd like me to introduce myself. So I am John, and what I do is the website is my responsibility. I also help train people with mock forms. So if you ever, mock forms is just an online form builder. So we do training with that. And then OMNI is a CMS, which is a content management system. So basically it allows people to edit websites without having to know how to code, because you're just using something that's very similar to just like a word processor to be able to get, edit the content, switch images, just simple things of that nature. So hopefully that answers your question, Catherine. Okay, let's see. We got a few questions. Okay. So someone was already lost. Okay. And you said, where is the folder and how is it called again? So let's see. Let's share my screen again. Okay. Let me set this up. So if you guys want to follow along, you actually can. The easiest way, let me start with that because it probably would be hard to type all this. But what you can do is if you go to oru.edu, I'm going to tell you a little cheat code here. So if you want to follow along and try to do some of what I'm doing, you can. Some of the things I may be going kind of quick, but again, if you really need me to slow down, I can. But if you scroll all the way to the very bottom, and let me hide that. Okay, all the way to the bottom, if you click the copyright symbol, so it's right under here under legal, and then it's the actual copyright symbol. Your mouse should turn into a little hand icon, so you can click that. It'll take you to the login. So that's an easy way to get to the login. So the way to log in before you have an actual login is we have a training login. So it's super secure. It's login is training and the password is training. So let me go in there for you. See, actually, now I'm gonna log in as mine. But if you want to follow along, again, if you don't have a login, you can just use training as the username and use training as the password, and it's just all lowercase. So once you log in, if you were using the training one, it may say something like, you don't have access to this. That's okay. It's just because the homepage, we have it protected, so not everyone has access to the homepage. So let me see this. Actually, I'm gonna log in as both just so I can kind of help you guys see that. So I log in. So here we go. So this says you don't have access or permissions to this directory. So you're just going to click OK. Oh, that kicked me out. Let's try this again. That's why we do these things live, because you never know what's going to happen. So here we go. I'm going to click here again. Put me in. So what I'm going to do is click. I'm not going to click OK. And you're going to click Content, which is right up here. And Pages. So I'm going to go to Pages. So here we go. You should see this. And if you see that, you're good. This is, websites are basically just files and folders, just like you would see like on your computer. Basically the same thing. So this is what we're looking at right now. So if the words are black, that means you don't have access to it. So with the training, you have access to, I think there's 2 or 3 folders, but what you can do is go over here to filter. And the way filter works is filter will only search within this one folder. So you can't just say, this filter is not searching the whole website. It's just doing it one folder at a time. So right now we're in what's called the home folder, which is kind of like the top level. So we want to get to training. So we're going to type in training. So if you see that, there should be OMNI Coach training sessions. So that's anything to do with training should be in there. Then once you're in here, now we can search for, there should actually be one for faculty. And if there's not, then we can make that happen. Let's see. Again, this is why I like doing this live, because if I miss something, I will find it out in front of 40 different people. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to remove that. Oh, faculty sandbox. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to correct my mistake. Okay, so if you're not already back there, you're going to click on this house icon. Again, that'll take you to the home folder. That's how you know you're home. So if you try to follow me before, click back out. And this time, instead of searching for, we're going to search for faculty. And so we should see faculty-sandbox. So this is what you're looking for. This is if you want to practice, making edits to faculty bio pages. Again, this is not the live version, but this is if you want to practice, kind of get used to it. And you don't have to worry about this if you make mistakes that it'll show up on the actual live website. So this is where you would go for that. So this is a good example of how it's set up now. There's different colleges, so whatever college you're in. So if you're inserting a professor who's part of the College of Theology and Ministry, you would click on this folder. But for training purposes, I just have this training folder right here. So you'll click on that. And again, the correct steps are on a video. So if you ever watch the video again, you'll be able to see it. So hopefully this answers your question on where do you go and how do you get to the folder in training. Now, if you were on the live version, I'll show you what you would do for let's say you have your login and you don't want to just do training. So here, we'll start from the beginning. So I'm at the home folder. I have an actual login. I'm going to look for faculty again in the filter. And then I'm not going to do sandbox. I'm going to go to the actual faculty. So this is what you see here. And then you would, let's just say you're with coax, you would click coax. So now you're in the folder, and then you would just click new, and then you would start the process right there. And again, at the end of the process, you're going to have to submit it, and then someone on our team will approve it, and then we'll make sure that all the information shows up on the listing page. So what you'll be doing is you'll be saving the information and then saying, okay, hey, will you please publish this and make this go live? So hopefully that answers your question. Okay, let's see what we got next. Are there videos on how to delete faculty who are no longer with us, retired or otherwise? So there are not. So I'm glad you asked that, Amanda. But if you do have someone you need to remove, that would actually be just a project request, because only a few people have the ability to actually delete pages. So what you would do is you would go to ORU. Here, I'll just show you real quick. oru.edu/project-request. Then you would scroll down to web request right here. And then you would just, all we need is a list of the people who need to be removed. So you would just say, here's the URLs to the current pages of the faculty members that just need to be completely removed and just no longer show up. That is something our team will do, but we just need you to give us the list of URLs, and we'll take care of that. Okay, let's see. Do faculty profile pictures need to be approved by the media team before posting to the website? Good question. Short answer is yes. So Chris Humphreys is our university photographer, and he's normally taking pictures of people all the time. But if you have a new faculty member and they have not had a professional profile picture taken, all you need to do is actually go to this project request again. And let's see. Here it is, photo request. So you would click that and you would just say, hey, Chris, we just need some photos taken, some headshots basically to put on the bio pages for, and then just, list out the people who need the shots. And then he'll set up a time with you and you guys can all figure that out. Yeah, please do not use any photos from some kind of dating website or just something you find on Instagram. Yes, we want to present the university as professional as possible. So thank you for asking that. All right, let's see. We got some good questions. So are we still putting CVs on the website? It looks to me like most, if not all, the faculty have had theirs taken down. And I wondered if there was personal preference of each professor or if it was a system-wide thing. So thank you, Rebecca, for that question. So from what I understand, currently, we're not going to be adding any CVs. We used to have a consent form that you had to fill out to make sure that the professor knew, hey, my CV is going to be on the website. It's going to be searchable and in public. Like it's not just, so anyone could Google and find your CV, and not everybody wanted that. So we created a CV to make sure we created a consent form to make sure that they were actually given consent. That consent form is currently down. So, so by default, since you can't fill that consent form out, you cannot have a CV on there. If you, I don't know, have a reason why you think it should be, I can help connect you with those people. You can just send me an email and we can talk about that. Okay, here we go. At one time, there were guidelines for the bios, such as they didn't want any personal info, such as hobbies, family information, etc. Is that still the case? We still have guidelines, yes. I think the easiest way to explain this is, again, the website is a tool to help bring in new students. We want students to find the information that they're looking for that helps them make the decision. Of course, we're hoping that they'll choose ORU. So with our professors, we want to come across as professional and as knowledgeable as possible. So you may not want your family's information on there because, again, this is public. I know me personally, if I was a professor, I don't want anyone to know, my wife's name or my kids' names. They just need to know about me. And, and as a professor, I wouldn't want any of these, a student who maybe got a bad grade or something, try to find names and then try to go online and try to find out information about my family. So I would say it's probably best to leave family off. Hobbies may work. For instance, I don't know if you're a geologist, maybe you say you love, like if it kind of fits what you're teaching and it kind of adds validity to your expertise, then yes. But like we don't need to know that you like long romantic walks on the beach and things like that. So, but if you have further questions, feel free to email me. We can talk about it. But yeah, I think in general, you want to drive home the point that our staff, our faculty is knowledgeable, and that we're going to be able to teach you what you need to know to be successful in the fields that you hope to pursue after you graduate. So that should be the goal. Let's see. So Catherine, are you telling us that ORU is now giving us access to change and update our public profile using OMNI? So yeah, so we actually initiated that it's like 3 or 4 months ago, actually. We sent around an email to everyone who was a current a current OMNI editor. So we sent that about 3 or 4 months ago, but it sounds like you did not get that email. So, but yes, that was the plan all along when the website first launched about 3 years ago. Sorry, it relaunched with the redesign. The goal at the time was to build in a time for people to kind of get used to editing, and then we were going to slowly allow people to make more edits to things. So hopefully that answers your question. Okay, are we able to edit current faculty members? So yes, you are. And I can kind of show you, we kind of went through that. So I don't know when you did the question, but I'll show you again. So for instance, here we're back in the faculty and then the coax folder. So for instance, if you wanted to, I don't know, let's say Courtney, we wanted to make edits to her. I won't show you a picture, Courtney. I know you're on there. I know people don't always like people to show their pictures. So let's see if I can, did I hide it? Nope, it didn't. Anyway, but yes, you could start typing here and make any changes you wanted to, and you would just click save. I'm not going to save. Of course, you could go to the multi-edit right here. And this is the information that will show up on the listing page. So for instance, let's say Courtney's title changed. She's the executive director now of theater, and she needs a pay raise. And this is where you would put that in the title. Of course, you could change, if she's changed departments or colleges or whatever, you can make all that change here. So yes, you can edit current faculty members and their information. You can even switch out their images. So everything you saw in that video when we were actually creating a new faculty bio page, you can make edits to all of that. None of it's set in stone forever. Okay, here we go. Where are the guidelines for the faculty bios? That is a good question, Amanda. We don't have a spot right now. So, but if that is something that we get a lot of questions for, we can try to have a PDF. It would probably be short, kind of like what I was saying. But again, I think that the main thing is showing a level of professionalism, showing that we are knowledgeable and that these are the instructors that you want, teaching your kids, or these are the instructors that you want teaching you to help you reach your future goals. I think that's, again, being professional is probably the key. I think that'll help answer a lot of questions like, no, we're not going to put your Instagram, view on a swing or something for your profile picture. So hopefully that helps. I have seen a few things in chat pop up. So let me see. Again, if you have a question, please use the Q&A. But I think I saw something pop up. When you say at the end of the video, you would see the OMNI login request link. Seems like you are asking us to copy the link from the video. It would be too much to ask you to send by email the login request link. Okay, thank you. So actually, good news for you. It's in the video twice. It's a short link. It's just oru.edu/. Actually, I don't want to spoil it because I want to make sure you watch the video. But it's also in the description. So if you scroll down the page, there's a link that you can click. So we have it there visually, and we have it there where you can click to. So should make it easy and simple for you. So hopefully that answers your question. I don't want to try to say your last name and embarrass myself, but Dr. Marcella, yes. Okay, good. Thank you. I'm glad. That is all the questions that I see right now. Oh, here we go. Catherine says, you only told us your name. Then asked us to email you later. You or your full name. How do we do that? Okay, so yeah, if you have a question, sorry, I should probably read that out loud again. So Catherine asks, you only told us your name, that your name is John, but then asked us to email you if we need help later. So without knowing your full name, how could we get your email? So yes, I was kind of hoping that you guys can read my mind there, but I'm learning that not everyone can do that. So the best way to get a hold of me, and I try to emphasize this, but I didn't do a good job, obviously. So if you have a question about OMNI, the best way to do it is through the project request, which is, again, oru.edu/project-request. And then you can go down the web, and that'll come to me and my team, and we'll all see it. And then the beauty of doing that is if it's actually something like an issue or something like that, it'll actually go into a project management system where we have all of our projects and everything, and it's trackable. And so anyway, that's the best way if there's something that you need to have done. Now, if you have just general questions, if you want to say, hey, John, you did an amazing job with your Zoom, and you didn't want to do a project request for that, you could just, I'm J.O. Sanders at ORU.edu. So that is how you can get a hold of me. All right, we still have some time left. If anyone has any questions, it doesn't have to be faculty bio related now. It can be anything about OMNI. If you have been running into any issues, if something wasn't clear, I'll try to give you guys about 60 seconds, but if no one has any questions, I guess we'll start wrapping up. Okay, so I think we'll start wrapping up because we have a poll. So let me go ahead and share this poll. And then again, like I said, we still have time. So if you think of something while we're doing the poll, go ahead. So let me launch this. Okay. So this is just a question, basically how we can help you guys better. This is one of our first live session Zoom calls where we just had Q&A. So we want to know if we had more of these Q&A sessions where, it'll be an hour long, and all you had to do, of course, we would email everybody, let them know, when we're doing it, and then you could jump in and whatever issues you were having, whatever questions, you could ask us, and then we would, of course, walk through them and answer them there for you. So I don't know if it'd be once a month, maybe once a quarter or whatever, but that's kind of an idea we're thinking about. We just want to see how helpful that would be. And also we want to know, would anybody really show up? It might be helpful, but you may not have time. So if you don't have time, that's understandable. But like I said, we do want to still help. So yeah, if you can answer that out, looks like we have about 8 out of the 23 people have answered that. So while you guys are answering that poll, I got another question. Are there any guidelines? This is from Amy Tolander. So hola, ¿cómo estás? Are there any guidelines for publishing PDFs? I'm not 100% sure what you mean when you say that. So actually, Amy, I'm going to see if I can find you. I'm going to unmute you so I can ask you, and you can clarify that for me, so I can actually answer your question and not just guess. Okay, so you should be able to unmute now, Amy.
I did unmute myself.
Oh, there you are.
Hi.
Let's see. I can't hear you though.
I'm just asking.
Wait, hold on 1 second. For some reason, let's see. Prim, can you hear her, or is it just my computer?
I can't hear her.
Can you try again, Amy? Say something.
Sure. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can you turn yours up, maybe?
Turn my volume up, or I don't know how to do that for my mic.
No, I think it's just, there we go.
Maybe I can talk louder. It just, in our case, for us, it's a lot of scheduling for tutors and our advisors. So that's the type of PDFs we will be publishing. So are there any guidelines for that?
Okay. Sorry, and the sound is still up, but you were saying you have tutors and they're wanting to print off PDFs for like any questions the students may have. Is that correct?
Oh, no, our PDFs are basically showing the availability of the tutoring center and the academic advising center, and it changes from time to time. So are there any guidelines for the type of PDFs we can publish?
Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you. Took me a while, but I got it, so I appreciate you. So basically what you're saying is you have PDFs that are going to be changing often. And so what's the best way to handle a PDF if it's constantly needing to be updated? So we do have multiple ways to do PDFs. Let me open up a new one. So this is on our OMNI training site. So I said this at the beginning, but you can upload a PDF directly to OMNI, but there's a newer way that we started this year, which is uploading using Calameo. And Calameo is a third-party system. I don't think I'm logged in right now, but it's a publishing platform. Anyway, and the video would explain how to do that. Now, the good thing about Calameo that is different from with OMNI. So with OMNI, when you upload a PDF directly to OMNI, right, it gives you a URL. And then, of course, you go in and you add that PDF to a page that you want people to be able to, download and look at the PDFs. And so that's great. But then you want to update it on a regular basis. So the updating process for a PDF through OMNI can be kind of long, because what happens is every time you upload a new PDF, you don't have the ability to overwrite the old one in OMNI, which means you would have to create a new URL every single time, which means you would then have to update the page every single time you make that update. So if you have 10 PDFs that are being updated all the time, that gets a little tedious and annoying. So with Calameo, it's a little bit different. So Calameo, you would actually upload the PDF to Calameo. Calameo would then give you a URL so that you could then go back to the website and you could say, if you want information here, click here, and it'll pop up. But it's not on the website anymore. It's like Calameo version. And now Calameo also makes things look a little better because it's like an interactive, almost like books. So it's kind of, there's an animation for the pages flipping. And so it gives you a little more options with that. So I think it looks better. But then the part that would really help you and anyone else is that in Calameo, you can go in and there is a way to you simply, I think, let me, just so I can show you. We're not going to watch the whole video, so don't worry. Let's see. I have a lot of pop-ups blocking my screen right now. Okay, so here's Calameo, and I think it's easy to upload.
Icon, and
So this is what I was talking about when I said it'll flip through.
This is just a template, but
Flip to the book.
you can click through. You realize there's something wrong. You need to update it. To update it, it's very simple. we're going to click.
So as you see, you'll click this button. Let's see if I can get it to do it. A menu pops up. It just tells you to upload a new version. You click and drag your PDF in there. It uploads it automatically for you. So now, using that same URL, you now have the updated version, which means if you put the URLs on a page one time, you could upload or you could update your PDF 100 times in Calameo, and every time it would automatically upload. It would automatically update on the page too. So this also works with emails. So what happens in the email is if you want to send PDFs out to someone, you give them a link usually to click, and that link goes to a specific URL. If you do it the Omni way, let's say you sent the email out and then you realize, oh no, I gave them the wrong date for the event. Well, there's not an easy way to fix that. But if you had Calameo, there's an easy way to fix that. You just click update new version, and then you drop it in there. And even though they're using the same URL, it's going to take them to the updated version. So it's kind of a long answer, but hopefully did that answer your question? She said, thank you. Okay. I was like, I'm going to take silence as a yes. Okay, let's see. What, I'm asking for the link. To see the link. Would Omni accept a OneDrive link for the PDFs we would use? That way the link always remains the same while we update the PDFs as needed with our department. OneDrive. Yeah, it's possible. If you use the OneDrive link, the only thing I don't know about OneDrive is a lot of times IT has certain services that are meant only for faculty and staff. They kind of have a blocked, meaning it'll work when you're on campus, and then it won't work if you're off campus. So I would test that out, or you can ask IT at their help desk if that works that way. So if they can get it offsite, then yeah, you could use OneDrive. But if they have blocked that, then yeah, you would just have to use Calameo. All right. Well, I think that's it. I don't see any other questions. So again, thank you guys for coming out. Again, on the Omni training portion at the end, there is a clickable link on that page. And then if you have any questions, of course, you can send them to jo.sanders@oru.edu. If you have anything you forgot, you want to rewatch the video, you can go to oru.edu/omni-training. And then if you have a project request, oru.edu/project-request. And thank you. You guys have a good day, and we'll look at the polls. It looks like most people think it would be helpful, at least somewhat helpful. So I don't know, you should be hearing from us then soon about a possible another Omni Live session. So thanks again, and you guys have a good day.